Hello everyone, this is HES here back with some more StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm 1v1 action. Now, I am crazy excited about this game, and I do want to clarify, this is not from DreamHack, which I've been casting on my channel quite a bit lately. This is actually a replay that I had thrown in a folder literally labeled must cast these games, and I somehow absolutely missed that I had this game in there. I haven't seen the game. I've heard that it's pretty good, and I'm kind of upset with myself that I didn't cast it as soon as I had the opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our players. Spawning down in the bottom left side, it is going to be the Protoss player herO. Now, of course, do not get him mixed up with the other herO who I cast on my channel quite a bit. It's kind of confusing because they're both Protoss and they're both named herO, but it is actually two different players. It's not the Team Liquid herO, so do not get that confused. I have cast him on my channel before. I always explain the difference just because it's like if there was two Peyton Mannings in the same game, it is a little bit confusing. I do know that he has like, what, a brother? So even that is a little bit confusing, but either way, up in the top right side, the majority of you probably know him unless you're just being introduced to StarCraft today. It is going to be EG's Jaedong. And I'm going to be completely honest, I love Jaedong. I love watching him live. And when I was getting into StarCraft back in the Brood War days, it was right when Jaedong was starting his career. And I was kind of there for his rise to fame and power and glory and destruction. I don't even like Zerg that much, and the fact that he is my favorite player ever should say quite a bit. And then there's White Raw and TLO, and it's like, is Jaedong really my favorite player of all time? It is, I will say, my favorite Korean player of all time. I will make a stand with that. Honestly, I have no idea how well he does in this game, so no, I don't just pick games where he wins. If that's what you're thinking, literally no idea what happened in this game. We do have his natural going to be going on up right now, but guess what? herO already going to have a natural up as well, and is going to go ahead and follow it up with a gateway, which is an interesting choice, because remember that on this map, Protoss can easily expand, so can Zerg, because there's a base inside your main, and look at this ramp right here. It's so teeny tiny that walling this in is basically no problemo. You can see one or two Zealots here are going to be able to wall that off quite easily. And Jaedong is not going to be rushing at all whatsoever. Now, one thing I do want to mention is, I kind of said this in the last game, or in one of the previous games I was casting, is that I am doing construction in my office, so if there is any echo, if there is any weirdness going on, that's why. That is why we are remodeling the office to have it be more roomy. We actually took out all of the bookshelves that were in there, which I know they were kind of cool, but they were just massive. They were taking up, I think we measured the square footage, they were taking up about half of the room. And it's like, you know what, bookshelves are cool, but I don't need to store that much stuff. I mean, it is nice having a nerd shelf, so I'm still going to try to incorporate that into the new Man Cave 2.0. But we went ahead and took those out. My parents are actually helping paint the room. We're going to be repainting it. Going to be getting some new furniture in there, new carpet, because the old carpet was not so good. And yeah. So once that is all done, I will let you guys know. Maybe I'll give you a man cave tour. Be like, welcome to my man cave, which just kind of sounds not that exciting and also kind of weird. And also, I'm noticing my monitor may have gotten messed up in the relocation as everything is a lot darker on my screen. So I think on your screen it's showing up normal, but if I'm missing anything on the minimap, for some reason my minimap is not looking so good. So I feel like I need to maybe get that checked out. But you really think I'm going to be leaving this game when it's Jaedong versus herO? Get out of town. Get out of town. I'm not even kidding. My monitor just turned off. Okay, we're back. And we're back. Okay. All right. All right. My computer is not happy that we are not in our office right now casting. But 3 bases right now for Jaedong. Pretty standard stuff here. And this is going to be a pretty greedy play out of him. I can't say in all honesty that I blame him just given the map. We do have a probe going to go ahead and move on out. Kind of scout exactly what is going on, which I'm assuming is not going to be a whole lot other than lots of hatcheries. The Overlord right here is going to be spotting the Stargate there. He's going to try and boogie it on out of there. However, the Phoenix will spawn. This is definitely going to be no secret for Jaedong. I mean, he's already spotted this, so it's not going to be a surprise. I do think, though, that the Phoenix should chase down the Overlord. There's going to be one Overlord in the top left side as well. Notice, though, how Jaedong has not been too aggressive with his Overlord scouting. He's only sent out 2, so even if he loses those 2 Overlords in the next couple of minutes, that's totally fine. I mean, one Overlord here is guaranteed to die when your opponent goes for air, and I believe that this rally point's probably up along the side. He knows that there is indeed going to be an Overlord over here. Okay, come on, Monitor. Come on, Monitor. This is no time for messing around. There we go. My monitor's back. It's okay. I don't know what's going on. My computer is so upset with me. He's just like, you know what, Husky? I am over it. I can't believe you moved me. I was so comfortable in that office. And then all of a sudden, we had a corner office. And now you have me casting in this weird area. I don't like it. My monitor's really throwing a hissy fit, but that is totally fine. As you have the Phoenix go ahead and moving out. Because really, you don't need a monitor to experience something like Jaedong versus herO. It is like an out of this world experience. You don't even need your eyes. You don't even need your ears. You just need to be alive to really experience the joy of Jaedong versus herO, which is exactly what we're going to be watching right now. We do have the second Overlord going down. Now again, this is completely standard. To lose 2 Overlords to a Stargate Protoss, completely standard. You're not worried about it at all. I am surprised that Jaedong did get a little supply block there because he did know that he was going to be losing those Overlords. But at the same time, you can also kind of plan those things. You know, he was going to throw down more Spore Crawlers. He did start the double upgrades here. So necessarily building the Overlords right away could have actually delayed these 2 upgrades and the Spore Crawlers and things like that. And so, you know, getting supply block for a second can actually be a calculated thing. And a lot of pro players will utilize situations like that. A couple of drones most likely going to die. And I don't want you to think that I'm favoring Jaedong, but as a Protoss player, I can tell you, you definitely need to kill off a lot of stuff. This whatever this is, looks awesome. It's definitely made out of part of a starport, but either way, that thing looks pretty dope. We do have the Phoenix right now, going to be scanning at those things, but either way, the Protoss player does need to do quite a bit of damage to make these Phoenix worth it, or make the Phoenix stay alive and use them the longer the game goes on. That's really the 2 options. If he ends up losing either of these Phoenix, or if he doesn't do any damage throughout this game, I mean, still these Phoenix haven't really paid for themselves just yet, because, I mean, what tech does a Protoss player have right now to fall back on? The answer is just gateway units. And that is not a situation that you actually want to be in. It does look like a third base is going to be on the way. But if he does not do more with these Phoenix, he is actually severely behind. Needs to make sure to continue working on upgrades if possible. Jaedong's +1/+1 is nearly done. And Jaedong is definitely known for doing timing attacks. He has 18 Lings on the way. Does that mean he is going to go all in and trying to kill off this base? It very well could. I mean, we have a Nexus down here right now. And there's not a whole lot of defense here. Now, these sentries, given their positioning and the amount of energy they're going to have by the time Jaedong can actually attack, I don't know that pure Lings is going to be enough. We do have the Colossus finally going to be following it up, but I mean, this is going to be a 10, 11-minute Colossus here, so it's not something that, again, Jaedong will be unprepared for. I mean, maybe these Lings are a little bit crazy, but this is one thing that Jaedong is kind of known for, is being aggressive at situations in a game that you would not expect a Zerg player to be aggressive at, and this is kind of one of those situations, although right now the Phoenix are starting to get a little bit annoying. Does actually manage to transfuse on the Overlords, going to be saving those. The Spore Crawlers here very well placed to push this out of here. Queen's doing a good job of kind of zoning them out. Only 2 drones going down, but again, these Phoenix are starting to get a little bit pesky, a little bit annoying, and it looks like herO will be able to keep the majority of these alive for quite some time. And you can see, hasn't even really lost any units throughout this game. I'm assuming that this is just a canceled building or something like that. But with the Nexus kind of hanging out over there, it looks very well protected. The Lings probably not going to be able to get in there. The upgrades are nice, but in all honesty, upgrading Lings right now is not that important. When you have Colossus on the way, the upgraded Lings aren't going to be doing that much because they're just going to be dying so quickly. We do have 4th base on the way for Jaedong. You can see not really being hindered by the Phoenix harass. And we also have, interestingly enough, we do have Enduring Locust on the way. We are going to be having Swarm Hosts being created as well. And what I want to know is, how do the Swarm Hosts deal with the Phoenix? Oh, Queen's right there. Going to be able to focus down the weakened one. That was very deliberate there by Jaedong, leaving those Queens there and focusing them down. herO has got to be careful with these Phoenix. Needs to keep them alive. And more importantly, he really does need them for the Swarm Host. We have seen how effective Swarm Host can actually be. And if a Zerg player gets to them quite early, it can spell disaster. D-I-S-A-S-T-E-R. Hopefully I spelled that right. I am pretty bad at spelling and doing math while casting. Those are the things that you should definitely not do if you are a caster, is trying to spell or do math. It's never a good idea whatsoever. We do have still a lot of Lings kind of hanging out over here. And an Overseer going to see exactly what's going on, so he knows exactly what's headed his way. I assume he's going to be able to spot these Colossus. I can't imagine that these Colossus are going to be any kind of surprise at this point, though, because it is pretty obvious that, well, that's kind of the transition that a Protoss player is going to do after this. There goes the Overseer right there. And hang on just for a minute. I'm going to give you the view of Jaedong. Hold on. Hold on. My monitor is being a total jerk. So hang on. I'm going to be casting from over here. Things are happening. Things are going down. Things are dying. Nope, nothing's really dying. I don't know if you guys can even still hear me right now. Hang on, I'm trying to fix my monitor. It's totally fine. Plus, I mean, I feel like watching Jaedong is in all honesty, a treat. I feel like it is a treat to be able to watch that. And this is probably the first time I've ever gotten up during it, because I think I fixed my monitor, though. So, Jaedong's APM has saved the day once again. Hey, I'm gonna sit back down. I don't even have my rolling office chair right now. That is the depressing part. I have like this really tiny folding chair, which is not the most comfortable. All right, we are back to everyone. At the same time, we have Lings running by. Gonna try and get them inside the main base. Gets them in the natural, and actually, no, the main base, and I guess you could call this the natural over here. But that is gonna be a lot of damage. The probe kills are starting to add up right now. 4 kills for these Zerglings. That is quite a lot. Does he get any more? No, there are some probes that are dangerously low right there. And at the same time, you can see herO right here a little bit upset with exactly how that attack went. Guardian Shield activated. The Locust, though, timeout. So a little bit of a wasted energy there, although the remainder of the sentries do have quite a bit. Now, this is a situation where it is going to be tough for herO to recover. Well, the reason I say that is because Jaedong with Swarm Hosts, that is literally a nightmare. Like, if you were going to have a nightmare, that is top 3 worst situations for a Protoss player to be in, is trying to out-position and out-navigate Jaedong when he does have those Swarm Hosts. So herO is going to need to be aggressive in some way. You can see the War Prism here looking to make that happen, and he is going to have to do a lot of damage. One cannon is done. I don't even know if this cannon can save the Nexus. It is indeed going to rely on the Stalkers and the Colossus. Oh my god! That is a 15-minute mothership, which I think the Zerglings actually spotted. What a ridiculous game where you're seeing already at that early of a mothership. I don't know the last time I've seen that. I don't know if you guys know my channel better than I do, which you probably do, in all honesty. But I don't know when the last time I saw that early of a mothership is, especially with all the changes they made to mothership. You tend to see them a lot less. No Vortex, for example. But either way, we do have the War Prism. Additional War Prism going to be on the way. And in all honesty, which I know I've said a lot, but we're being pretty honest. I believe in honesty when it comes to casting, is that the War Prisms need to be utilized here. Because if herO just sits back on his little mothership, it's not going to be able to do a lot. Because motherships do not have the Vortex ability anymore, which I know I already said. But that was really kind of the ace in the pocket. The ace in the hole. The hole in one. We were talking about a lot of different holes, and it's making me uncomfortable. But now, without the Vortex, I mean, the mothership is cool, but it's not really a game changer. For Zerg, it's not really like, oh no, there's a mothership, now I'm going to lose my whole army, because that's literally what it used to be. That is what it used to be. It does look as though it's going to get taken out here. However, the Corruptors have revealed themselves. And in the amount of numbers that are there right now with the +1 attack, no armor. Wouldn't be surprised to see those upgrades on the way, though. +2 attack is going to be on the way for Jaedong right now. We have an Oracle being mixed in by herO, and also a double Stargate. So is he actually going to be going for some sort of crazy Sky Toss right now? That would just tickle my pickle. That would make me quite happy, because you do not see Sky Toss that often, especially this early. I mean, 17 minutes into the game. Are you kidding me? We do have a Dark Shrine going to be on the way. That's going to be good for harassment. I got to say, overall, though, this is one of the least amount of resources lost games that I think I've ever seen. And I love this, though, because you can actually attack the Locust directly without ending up losing anything. That is brilliant, because now Jaedong's going to need an Overseer, but you can't really use the Locust with the Overseer, because the Overseer is just going to die, so you need to send anti-air. Jaedong doesn't have the most anti-air, and that means that he has to overcommit on his attacks. That is actually genius. herO, I feel like you figured out what to do in this situation, and so far, this is working out brilliantly. The Locust virtually worthless right now. Blinks forward, I think, trying to catch an Overseer here. That's the only thing I can imagine, as we do have another base going to be coming up here for herO. I gotta say, herO's playstyle so far this game, top-notch. Absolutely love it. We do have some drones going to be going down over here, though, as we do have Zealots loose inside the base. A lot of Queens, though. Got to be showing up to clean this up. Can they call this many Zealots? There's no armor upgrades on the Zealots, unfortunately. That's what they really need versus the Queens. At the same time, we're going to be having Stalkers over here on the left side, trying to do as much damage as he possibly can, as I bump into the microphone because I'm that excited about this game. And the Stalkers able to do quite a bit. The Zealots over here have finally been cleaned up, but I mean, we still have drones going down, and Jaedong trying to find a place where that mothership is not, but the mothership doesn't really have that far to move to actually protect that other base, which is pretty ridiculous. I've never seen a game like this at all. And we do have 4 Tempests on the way. We got the War Prism speed. herO making PvZ look like a whole new game, as Jaedong is definitely struggling right now. I mean, he can't really hold on to this base. He doesn't have a lot of units to actually engage, and yeah, he is going to kill off these Stalkers, but I mean, really, those Stalkers have definitely paid for themselves at this point. And sentries, were those actual sentries? I don't know what the deal was with that. I think that was an accident. I mean, yeah, maybe he was sacrificing them to get more Tempests and more Oracles, but I mean, come on. Come on, they're sentries. You don't just sacrifice sentries. That's rude. But look at this. These Colossus are going to have so many kills. 19 kills on that one. 21 kills. 21 on the other one as well. And we do have more drones going to be going down here, as this base over here not really established whatsoever. as you would think that he would have that by now. A couple of spines coming on up. I don't really know what Jaedong does in this situation. I mean, this is making me feel uncomfortable, and I'm not even in this game, and I don't even play Zerg, but man, do I feel uncomfortable. As herO, I almost feel like has the perfect unit composition, whereas we're used to seeing Zerg players just annihilate with mass corruptor, and then just a couple units on the ground like the Swarm Host to really kind of pressure the ground army. But for now, with this army from herO is still not even interested in moving out. He's like that guy who's just kind of like a forever student in college. He doesn't want to move out of his parents' house, but he also doesn't really want to graduate because then he has to get a job. So he just kind of hangs out at mom and dad's house with his Tempest, which I think we've all been there. But eventually, mom and dad will have to kick him out of the nest and will have to force him out across the map into the real world. And the real world in this case is represented by Jaedong. And so will he kill the real world by punching it in the face, getting an awesome job, and becoming the coolest kid in the block? Or is he just going to sit at mom and dad's and slowly lose his entire army as he withers away? I don't know, something to think about. But the Locust right here, not, again, able to do that much. And you can see how long it actually takes those Locusts to die, which is kind of impressive considering that they aren't even attacking. They're literally bunching up and running into the death lasers. But speaking of death lasers, what are these Colossus kills at? I can't even click on these Colossus. Everything's grouped up. 50 kills. Soon to be more. I mean, we may be seeing Colossus with hundreds and hundreds of kills. I do think Jaedong should probably start sending them over to the left side. Probably is where he wants to go. But what does Jaedong have on the way? I mean, he's got a lot of Spore Callers right now. He is starting to play probably the most turtley game I've seen in a long time. We do have a couple probes getting taken out. Those very well could have just been sacrificial probes, to be completely honest. And again, I'm telling you guys, we're just being honest here. In our cast, I wouldn't lie to you. I may tell you misinformation because I'm incorrect. That is definitely a possibility here. We have the Oracle right now being utilized very well just to kind of reveal all those buildings, all the units, and where they're headed. And at this point, we do have Vipers on the way from Jaedong. But I'm surprised at how little has actually been lost overall this game. I mean, for a 23-minute game, to have, like, less than 15,000 resources lost overall, that is crazy. That is crazy to me. What's also crazy, though, is how herO is playing this one out. He kills off any Overseers that fly in with the Tempest. I think we're going to have to see a lot of Overseers, though. Jaedong agrees. 7 Overseers being created. And in all honesty, why am I being so honest? I mean, at this point, I feel like we've established that. But with that many Overseers on the way, he should be able to spot this no problem. But the thing is Jaedong actually doesn't have that much money. herO is the one who has somehow managed to, like, out-expand the other player when it is almost unanimously Zerg who end up doing that. Even DT's getting in on the mix. They do have to retreat, though, because of those Spore Callers revealing them. But this kind of reminds me of, like, playing the Warcraft 3 campaign as Protoss. Not Warcraft 3, StarCraft Brood War campaign as Protoss. And even StarCraft 2 campaign as Protoss. Just killing off so many Zerg units wave after wave after wave. The Corruptors do take out the Mothership. No Submersion Core being built instantly. But all of a sudden, this army is no longer vulnerable or invulnerable to the Locust. They are quite vulnerable. Jaedong knows that he's got to go straight for the Tempest. So far, so good. Does manage to snipe them using those Vipers. I got to say, feedbacks need to be thrown out on the Vipers. That was a lot of resources lost by herO. But, you know, he is ahead, quote-unquote, in the resources lost, in that he has lost more. That is not one race that you want to win, though. And these Locusts right now, I believe, are starting to actually get a couple of shots off before dying, which is kind of the point. We do have the Zealots over here on the right side, though. This is where the multitasking is going to really come into effect right now. DT's warping in. That's 4 DTs if he starts to split those up. And probes and Zealots moving forward. I mean, these probes can actually do a little bit of damage here before the Locusts spawn. More Locusts on the other side of the base here. But I gotta say, this base for Jaedong looks like it will be going down. Is it going to be both hatcheries, though? I think the answer is yes. Gonna go ahead and reveal all these units once again. Manages to grab the Corruptors as well. Definitely an underutilized unit, the Oracle. I think it's something that we will be seeing more and more as players start to kind of figure out this unit and where it fits into the meta game. We do have DTs right now finally getting taken out, but guess what? They killed off 2 hatcheries. That's going to severely hurt his income. Sure, there wasn't that many resources left here to begin with, but still, you can see those resources are actually favoring herO. If you're to look at the resources per minute, overall workers 71 to 57. 71's a lot of workers at this stage for a Protoss player. Workers killed is 23 to 39, so that's been kind of the name of the game right now, just trying to kill off those workers. And I gotta say, that's not a bad strategy. Oh, dear. I assume that's going to get yoinked over. There it goes. War Prism gets taken out. Basically a worthless unit because he can just build another one. And you know what? He can also build another one of a Mothership. It does take a long time. It does cost a lot of resources. But man, does it allow him to deal with those Locusts. We do have a big army over here. I think can actually lock down this expansion quite well. Jaedong already having units rally over there. and is going to spot them a little bit early right now. But the Zealots here, do they have Zealot legs? I assume that they would. Yes, they do. We're going to go ahead and run up that ramp, and this base is going to be vulnerable. At the same time, though, Jaedong has to worry about this major army kind of amassing up over here on the left side. So basically, no major engagement just yet. But instead, what we're seeing is kind of guerrilla warfare by herO, and if this actually works out, I will be fascinated. Absolutely fascinated, as I've never quite seen a game like this out of a Protoss player. Seen quite a few Zerg players go swarm host and try to mass expand, and Jaedong does have a little bit of money in the coffers right now, but even more money for herO. I mean, look at this, he's got 4,300 minerals in the bank, plus 5,100 gas, which remember, Protoss players can use all gas. You know, Terran and Zerg, obviously they invest in gas, but Protoss players can just keep making High Templar, High Templar, High Templar, High Templar, because they're basically free on the mineral counter. It's only 50. So the more gas you can have, the better as Protoss. That's what I always say. Whereas as Zerg and Terran can actually get oversaturated on gas and have a difficulty ending up spending that. But at this point, I mean, what's going to happen next? I think we basically just have to sit back, wait, and find out. As Jaedong, I'm pretty curious on his APM right now. Both players over 220 APM, which for a 28-minute game, although that is slower in real life, it feels like 28 minutes for sure. That has got to be absolutely exhausting. Now, it does look at the looks here. Some go to the right, some go to the left, which is kind of what we've been seeing throughout this game. And anything happening over here? No, continuing to be a very passive game here, as both these players do try and just macro up. I mean, how does herO ever move out and actually end the game? Well, we're about to find out, as he is going to go straight for exactly that. Does manage to kill off these queens right away, or at least a couple of them, as they do try and run back and heal up. I think he only killed one queen, actually, and I thought he was going to be able to do a little bit more. At the same time, though, a massive counterattack up here on the top right side. And I got to say, Jaedong has been crumbling against this the entire game. Not ever really able to deal with it, but the Vipers here make this army very nervous to actually kind of come in on an approach. And yep, he did end up losing a lot there. The mothership is still alive. Resources lost, though, 22,000 to 10,000. And again, it shows that Jaedong, his resiliency, it looks like Jaedong's losing horribly, but he's actually defending very well. Well, minus that whole killing his own overseer thing, and instead of the war prison there. But hey, you can't win them all. You cannot win them all. That is for absolute sure. More Locust trying to stream up there, but with the mothership able to defend, I think I found my new strategy. So at this point, Jaedong has got almost the entire map that he can covered in creep. But other than that, that's kind of the main thing going for him. He has managed to kill more than he has lost, which is always great. He finally now has more money than his opponent for the first time in quite some time. So I keep bumping my microphone because of my new setup here. I am just a hot mess right now. A couple lings do manage to take out a cannon. Not going to take out that Zealot, though. He refuses to die. And looks like that was yet another warp prism here. That ship is really cool. I want to be able to fly that thing. I will take that thing, please, as the mothership here is ready to go. Tempest right now just showing you how desperate herO is to kind of crack this case, kind of crack these locations. He must use the Tempest here. How many does he have overall? Right now he's got the one mothership and 18 Tempest. One just actually spawned. I also find it crazy that this unit composition is basically maxed. And there's going to be a lot of fake Zealots running out here. This is literally an army of fake Zealots. They can't attack. All they can do is scout, and even then, I don't even know if it's worth scouting exactly what's going on, because he has a basic idea. I mean, if you see a new unit, that is what the unit he is switching to is. And we do have a lot of Tempest. They are starting to really add up right now. 19 with a 20th one on the way. And it does look like yoinks over the mothership. Does it go down? Yes, it does, but so do storms. I don't know that throwing down that many storms is necessary, but I guess, hey, at least he was able to throw them out, start blanketing that army, and did indeed soften it. Not the most, though, as that army did relocate right now, but this is definitely a late game. If I have ever seen one, this is late game PvZ. A very unique game, that is for absolute sure. As Tim is over here trying to figure out exactly what's going on, and what is going on, a lot of death balls to the face. Jaedong has got to figure this out, though. He's got to be able to deal with these Tempests or counterattack or get him out of position or just do something. And the fact that all these bases remain for herO is actually kind of astounding to me. Feels like the Tempests here are a little bit leery. Yes, they are killing out the Spore Crawlers here, but it's going to take a lot more than that to actually end this game. So I don't even know if going for those directly is the right idea, or if you should go for some of the expansions. Because if you can bleed them dry out of money, then that's when your Tempests can really shine, because there's nothing that can actually deal with them. And we do have a couple lings right here. Tempest here trying to defend. He's already up to 2 kills, now 3, and that is just on Zerglings. And remember, Tempest shoot extremely slow. Oracles, I love how they're revealing everything that's going on. Ling's right there trying to kill a pylon, but this Tempest, he is not messing around. He is literally taking target practice on those little rat Zerglings. 9 kills there. They did manage to make it inside the base. That's a lot of cannons here, though. Gotta watch out for that. I am honestly blown away that Jaedong has not been able to do more here, where herO has just been defending immaculately. I mean, obviously he's been losing a lot, and Jaedong has not been losing as much, at least not yet. That could very well change, though. It seems like they are getting a little bit closer. Still about 10,000 resources lost more for herO, and yet he still has mo money. Mo money, mo problems, as almost every single base is taken here except for the bottom right side. We do have the top left completely taken out now by herO. It's basically his new main base as far as economy is concerned. Another mothership is about to spawn. Where is she at? There she is. The mothership, I think, though, definitely paying for herself. If not in direct damage, then just in being able to deal with those locusts, which prevents that direct damage. Does decide to go ahead and go for it. The starport's right here, not the next eye, which, you know, cutting into that can cut into the chrono overboost, but basically not really worth it when you have so many chrono boosts there. I don't know why I said overboost. That just sounds pretty sick, though. As we do have the Corruptors here, gotta be careful. Storm plus Archon equals dead Corruptor. Definitely want to get +3 attack on those Corruptors if possible, because these Archons have +3 attack. These Archons have +3 shields. They are not messing around. They are out for blood. I don't know how you beat this as Zerg. I'm going to be completely honest. I think it's just Mass Tempest to try and out-Tempest your opponent. But in order to do that, you need to mind control a probe, build up all the way, and begin doing that. So, this game, pretty ridiculous. 36 minutes in, and we have basically a huge death ball of stuff. And I don't know if Jaedong can actually hold this. I really don't. I mean, at this point, it's just kind of watching what is herO going to do, because there hasn't really been that many major attacks. And I don't know, you guys. What is this big death ball going to do? I mean, can you actually kill anything with going up against this many Tempests? Are you able to kill that? I don't know. I don't know. Zerg players, I need you to chime in right now. Hang on. My phone's vibrating. So we are going to look away for just a second as this happens. Oh, those poor Corruptors. As they spawn, they die. I mean, what is a Zerg player supposed to do? I think part of the problem is that he allowed him to get so many bases without ever actually doing anything. I mean, where's Jaedong's army? What is Jaedong's army right now? It's 20 Corruptors and 11 Swarm Hosts. I mean, that's it. That's all he's got. He has no more money here. And more High Templar on the way. And there's the GG. That is literally it. That is one of the weirdest games I think that I have ever seen. And he eventually was able to catch up in the resources lost here. But I mean, look how many bases he was able to have. That is more bases than I think a Protoss player has ever had in, like, any game I've ever cast ever, especially versus a player like Jaedong. Normally, he's pretty good at locking it down, and Swarm Hosts tend to be really good, but I honestly think that herO kind of broke the metagame a little bit with this game, because normally Zerg players are expected to do more damage with those Swarm Hosts, and yet he did basically nothing. Almost nothing with those Swarm Hosts. I'm literally in awe. I don't know what to do. I mean, the resources lost is about the same. herO's so far ahead. But Jaedong never able to. I think what we needed to do is maybe deal with that mothership a lot faster instead of sitting back for 10 minutes and letting those locusts do nothing. I think you need to be more kind of intelligent, I guess I should say, in where those locusts were going. More thought out, more methodical. Maybe methodical is the right word. Instead of just kind of sending them into laser beam after laser beam after laser beam. I kind of wonder, like, when was the last Colossus, which sounds like a movie. But I kind of want to see when the last Colossus was. There's one right there. He has 118 kills. That one Colossus alone has over 118. And yeah, the majority of them are locusts. I totally get that. But that's 120 locusts that should have been doing a lot more than they were. And even though they're a quote-unquote free unit, he's at 124 right now. I'm kind of curious to see exactly how far out of control this Colossus gets. I mean, he eventually dies. I don't think there was a Colossus left on the field at the end. There's going to be all the fake changelings running by. I feel like Times 4 is almost faster just because my computer can actually handle it. 130. This is probably where he dies because there's no mothership there. So not a lot of protection. 131, 132 before he finally ended up dying. That was just the last Colossus. I can only imagine what all the other ones had combined. And I wonder also, if we go all the way to the very end, I just can't believe this game. This game is so crazy. Units lost 329. There's no way that includes locusts. They evidently took locusts out of the units lost tab. I can only imagine, though, how many locusts actually ended up dying in that game. What a weird and ridiculous game. Anyway, so if you guys enjoy it, of course, I'll see you guys next time.